Hello and welcome to Monday with the Mayor. I'm in Ferdinand today. I'm here with Chris James. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing well, Joy.
Thanks for letting us come into your office, by the way.
You're welcome. I apologize for the demolition look to
Oh,
things.
whatever. It looks great.
Okay.
You're getting a lot done. That's what that means. Yeah.
Yes, that's
My
the
kids
hope.
ever tell me that, though. I don't know.
Okay.
So anyways. All right. So you guys have, summer's coming.
Yes.
And in spring is maybe here, maybe not. Who knows? So you guys have a lot of stuff going on. And one of the things that you're going to be talking about at your meeting tomorrow night is your water feasibility and the rate increase and the approval of that rate increase. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, it started about a year ago. We did an official water study through Umbaugh & Associates, our rate consultant, and we had things sort of lined out to begin the process basically a year ago. Then we had a change in leadership in the utility department. That put everything kind of on the back burner. We got through the summertime because we had some water projects that needed to be done. And basically we hired in Steve Becker right in the middle of part of that work. And we finished that out. And then the council was able to revisit things late last fall and into the winter time. We had our town attorney, Bill Schoenfeld, take the basic figures from the rate study and then modify them more to fit council's wishes for a proposed increase. And the number they came up with was 15%. We've had sort of an initial introductory process at last month's meeting. Tomorrow night, we will have a public hearing. Anyone from Ferdinand who's receives a water bill from us is welcome to come in and say their piece about it, yay or nay or neutral, whatever the case is. Once that is done, barring any significant input that would cause council to have to re-look at the issue, I believe, I won't swear to it, but I believe the process is they can then formally adopt that ordinance tomorrow night, and then there is a window of time for it to take effect, and then it would kick in with the next billing cycle after that. So probably in the May range, month of May, maybe June. I'm not certain on how the calendar will fall exactly, but that's when that increase will kick in. It equates to about $4 or a little more than $4 for an average 4,000 gallon a month water user.
Okay, and so with the rate increase, how long has it been since the town has seen?
It's been a good 9 years since the last increase, and that's a lot of the impetus behind it. It's always great from a political standpoint, regardless of where you're at and what you're talking about, to keep things steady for a long period of time. Say, we haven't raised this or that for a period of years. That's good, but at the same time, the materials needed when it comes time to do a project, those costs don't stay stable the whole time that your rate stays stable. That continues to go up. Right. And so you have to kind of catch back up to the standard of living to a certain extent. Two projects that we did last year, Virginia Street and Missouri Street, those were funded through the water department just out of existing reserves. The previous 5-year plan, which was almost 10 years ago, didn't include those projects. So there was no way to plan for those ahead of time. And that took out a good chunk of the reserve capital. We still have some funds available, but not quite the balance, the cushion balance that we'd like to see. And that was a lot of the prompting for council to revisit this issue, put this into place. It'll allow us to start to build up our reserves. We've got a 5-year plan for various projects that Steve Becker and myself and even Roger Schaefer had a hand in when Roger was kind of the interim overseer of the water department before Steve came on board. And that kind of sets a template for what we can look at for the next 4 to 5 years for various projects. One thing that is on the list to do this year, and we've actually already started deals with the Sisters of St. Benedict new healthcare facility on their property. We've got the sewer across the road and the manholes are in place. That part's pretty much taken care of. That's being done by those crews. The water line our guys are putting in, and we've started that process of tapping onto that existing water line up there and making a new water main that's Ferdinand controlled. So we're in the midst of that, and that was kind of the big project for this year. And we've got one or so big projects each of the next 3 to 4 years. And as our reserves start to grow again with this rate increase, we'll be able to better fund those projects and not have to worry about dipping so much into the piggy bank for things that weren't expected. We kind of leave something back in case there is an emergency issue pops up. We've got the necessary funds available.
Okay, so increases are always important for
Yes.
funding repair.
Yes, it's just a
Okay.
matter of the standard of living increase.
Sure.
Employers try to provide that in pay increases to their workers. Kind of the same process with this, only it's on a materials basis as opposed to actual people basis.
Right. Okay, so you were talking about some projects you've got going on, and you're replacing the water main line through town, or what's going on with
Well,
those?
there is a water line that runs through that part of the sister's property. We are tapping onto that and basically taking ownership of a new water line.
Okay.
We're putting in the new line that will become our line. The existing line belongs to Patoka Water because they're our provider of water. We're tapping onto that, and all of the new line becomes ours.
Okay.
And then we will maintain it from here on out.
Now, are you also replacing water lines throughout the town that are, how old are your water lines that you're replacing?
Well, the lines on Virginia, Missouri Street, parts of those were close to 100 years old. We've got most of the oldest lines have all been replaced. I mean, there's some lines that are probably 50 and 60 years of age. Most of them are newer than that, more in the probably 20 to 30 year timeline. And that's part of the template that we'll follow. Areas that maybe we have breakage issues a little more frequently, that is on the to-do list to repair or replace that line so we don't have those issues. And it's just a matter of kind of looking through town and seeing what's been replaced when and where are more vital lines at, and trying to make sure those stay as current and functional as possible.
Okay, and so what kind of material is coming out of the ground and what's going in?
Going in is PVC pipe, basic in various styles. I mean, there's different little code numbers and names depending on the size of the line and everything. What comes out, it could be clay pipe, it could be kind of a steel pipe, and I think there's a couple of other materials that are they were very good at their time, but they're very fragile now that you could just kind of tap it and it'll break.
Right.
So when we go in and do some line replacements, we're very cautious as to what was attached where, what we're replacing, so we don't cause more damage or have to do more repairs than we had planned on at a particular intersection or where lines come together. But the materials that basically depends on when it was put in, and going forward it's mainly PVC pipe. It's more durable and longer lasting. Nothing is perfect, but it's better.
Yeah.
More impervious to roots and things of that nature. PVC pipe doesn't crack as easily as clay pipe would and allow tree roots to slide in and cause issues. So that's kind of the standard practice for most communities.
Sure, updating. New is good.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so moving on, spring cleanup. We were talking about spring and of course winter. I'm sure you're thrilled to see winter behind us, hopefully.
Yes.
No breaking pipes. But you guys are having spring cleanup days, which are starting tomorrow.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit how that will work and what the community needs to do?
Well, we pick the materials up. We'll start Tuesday, will be west side of Main Street or 162. If you've got whatever your big item is, have it curbside by 7 a.m., just as the normal practice for setting out trash. If you've got questions, whether you live on the east or west side of Main Street, what can I set out or things of that nature, contact Town Hall, 367-2280, and they'll be able to let you know what you can or can't put out. Most things you can set out. Bigger items, there will be a charge, and you'll be billed that. You don't have to pay it when the guys come and pick it up.
Okay.
They make notes as they go through, and then you get a sort of a separate bill later in the month, and okay, the 2 TV sets and the couch I set out is going to cost X. I do know no free-flowing liquids, oils, paints, things of that nature, because the landfill doesn't take those, so we're not going to.
So no air conditioners as well, or
If
refrigerators?
the Freon has been removed,
Okay.
you can set that out. If it hasn't been, then we don't. And then usually when the Freon's taken out, the plumber who does it, they'll put a little tag on to show that it's been cleaned of whatever the coolant is. But again, if there's any question, contact Town Hall. They've got a master list of things, both in terms of the item and the cost, to let you know. Sort of, you have a ballpark idea of what to plan for cost-wise when those are taken out. But we do the west side of 162 tomorrow on Tuesday. Wednesday and into Thursday, we do the east side of town. The last handful of years, it's gone into Thursday. The east side of town is the larger size in terms of population and homes. So try as the guys might, even in light pickup years, it takes us into Thursday to finish hitting all the neighborhoods and getting materials picked up.
So don't fret if it's not till Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And again, 7 a.m., try to have it out. Most folks, they'll set it out the night before,
Right.
just because they're gone to work already by
Sure.
7. So set it out the night before if you need, and we'll be through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to pick the items up and try to keep Ferdinand beautiful and help out property owners in town clear out some of the excess that they may have accumulated in their garage or basement or their storage shed or whatever the case may be.
So big or small items, couches, things like that, as long as there's no free-flowing liquid,
Yes.
gasoline, paint,
Yes.
oil.
Exactly.
I don't know
And
what
if
else.
there's
Water,
a
no.
question, contact Town Hall. They'll be able to let you know for sure what you can or can't do.
Okay, great. All right. So, and last but not least, we were talking about projects earlier that the town is working on. You have a huge project coming up on West 23rd.
Yes.
Everybody's anticipating this. Tell us a little bit about when that is going to happen.
I don't have a set date, and I don't know that we'll have a set date even at tomorrow night's meeting, but probably in the next month or so. The contract has been approved with Knies to come in. They were the lone bidder, and they came in under the budgeted amount, and they will work with CalCar Paving and some other, I think, subcontractors. They will come in and take out all the concrete on West 23rd Street from 162 to the bypass road on the opposite side. All of that concrete will be removed. We'll actually take it to our co-op side off of 23rd Street. There'll be machinery there that will turn it into gravel, and then it will be reapplied as part of the base layer of the new road.
Oh, how nice.
We're trying to be as efficient as possible.
Sure.
And it worked out great. I think it's Cooper Rail that's going to be doing that. They've got a machine that does that. We're leaving the curbing up. It's kind of a rolled curb. Those stay, but the street itself will be taken out. If there's any bad soils or soft soils, those will be dug out, put in, compacted, give us a good firm foundation for the road. They'll put down that base of concrete, gravel, and then we pave it, and it'll be an asphalt street when it is all said and done, which is easier to repair. Concrete, nothing wrong with it. I mean, it lasted 33, 34 years from when
Right.
it was installed, but it's had its time and needs to be replaced. And the funding on this is courtesy of NDOT's Community Corrections Program. We're not just funding this completely out of pocket. We wouldn't have been able to have done so at one chunk, but through community crossings, the state kicks in so much, we come in with our share, and we're able to get that taken care of. And that will be our one big project for this year through that. We still have some of our basic street pavings. Those will be announced a little bit later on this springtime. But once this is done, then our street superintendent, Tom Leakin, will sit down and start working on what next year's community crossings project application will be, and we'll get that submitted to the state. I believe they have a June deadline for that, so that's rapidly approaching as well. So we'll start getting busy on that, get that submitted to the state, and hopefully be beneficiary of, again, some state dollars for whatever the next project or projects will be.
Yes, I like how you added projects. Yes, it's
Yes.
never just one.
No.
Okay, so and will the contractor contact you guys before they start, and then you'll let the public know when you're starting?
Yes, we'll
Okay.
get word, because a lot of it, I'm not sure how some of that work, how they will do it. I don't know if you can really bust up one lane and leave the other lane open to traffic, or if they'll just have to close that down, except for point of entry for residents. Some of that still needs to be determined, and that falls back on the contractor. Once they kind of formulate their plan to say we're going to do it this way, that way, or the other, they will let us know, and then we can forward the word on to the media and to the
Okay,
public,
yes.
social media, the whole bit, so folks know don't drive there
Right.
for this many days or whatever the case is. And we'll try to keep people as posted as we can on things.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate it. Well, thank you. You guys have a lot going on. I hope the meeting goes well tomorrow and everything turns out. And 15% increase in water's coming up.
Yes.
Town cleanup days tomorrow start, and then this summer, Western 23rd Street. So
Amongst a lot of other things,
sure,
I'm sure that'll be
and
coming down the
yes.
line.
plus all your festivals. So you
Yes,
get all that. Yes. Well,
definitely.
Chris, thank you so much for being with us
Thank you,
today.
Joy.
I appreciate it. Thanks for taking
Anytime.
the time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks. That's been Monday with the Mayor. I'm Joy Holt.